All your applications and data.
Good evening, everyone. I see by the old clock in the wall, it's almost 8 o'clock, so we better start. We've already dealt with that. Okay. Well, we have a special guest from Chesapeake Beach with us tonight, Alyssa Levon. We usually we always start our meetings, Alyssa, with a pledge of allegiance, so I'll ask you if you would lead us in that pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I had a special meeting this weekend as we celebrate Veterans Day officially tomorrow. How many veterans in the room tonight? Thank you for your service. By the way, Town Hall will be closed tomorrow, as I think most government facilities are. Stacy, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Fraser.
Here.
Mr. Benton.
Here.
Ms. Hagan. Here. Mr. Mindy Hummel.
Here.
Mr. Randy Hummel.
Here.
Ms. Shanda. Here. Mr. Trumpeter.
Here.
Thank you. Full house tonight. Huh? Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda, but we need to amend it under the executive session to add also under section 3305B1 the discussion of acquisition of property for public purpose.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, that would be B3.
B3. Okay, B3. With that amendment, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carried. Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from last month's council meeting, October 12th. Come on, let's have a second. No corrections or additions? All in favor say aye. Okay, what is that, Jay?
It's just under scheduled appointments, it says swearing in Karen Anker-Brand. I made the motion, you can go and second it.
Okay, Stacy, if you'll make note of that. Okay, do I have a motion then to approve the minutes as amended?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carried. Here we have a number of scheduled appointments. First is, we have with us Alyssa Levon, presently serving among her numerous responsibilities as town attorney to Chesapeake Beach. If the public didn't know, the council knows, Karen Ruff, who has succeeded John Shea as our town attorney, has submitted notice of her resignation effective December 31st of this year. Karen, we're sorry to lose you and wish you all the best in your new responsibilities. I know where they are. She's taken a position in town government. We've had 3 expressions of interest in filling this position, and I've invited Alyssa to appear before us, before the public and before the council tonight. You have her resume. Alyssa, as I say, currently serves with Chesapeake Beach. And after her few remarks, she certainly would be more than willing to answer any questions that the council might have. As I indicated to Alyssa, there will be no decisions made tonight, but when the time comes, we certainly will be in touch with you, Alyssa. Okay? The floor is yours.
Good evening, council members, mayor. I am a municipal attorney. I have been a municipal attorney for a quarter of a century. I have represented jurisdictions throughout Maryland over the course of my career. I currently represent the city of Bowie, the city of Westminster, the city of Glen Arden, and Prince George's County, and the county of Chesapeake Beach. I also serve as conflicts counsel to Rockville and as ethics counsel at Aberdeen. In my capacity as a municipal attorney, I have handled matters across the board. I have experience in public sector personnel, in land use, in ethics, in contract drafting, legislative drafting. There are a whole lot of things after all this time that I haven't done, and then I don't have some experience in doing, or know someone who can help me with. I litigate occasionally. I try to stay out of court, but I have had a number of successful outcomes, primarily in land use litigation, but also in personnel matters. Most recently, I had a case, fairly important case come out of the Court of Special Appeals on behalf of Chesapeake Beach, in which we created some case law for municipal governments that actually allow vested rights to be abandoned depending on how your zoning ordinance is written. So that was fairly significant and it was new. And I'm fairly proud of that result. I have several pending appellate cases now that should be interesting, including a variance case in which my client had to obtain variances from the county in which it's located. So that's really interesting. I'm not usually sitting on that side of the issues. If there's anything at all I can tell you about my experience or any particular issues that you have pending, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Alyssa. Counsel?
I don't have any questions. I'd just like to state that, I've served on the MML board with Alyssa many years now, and she's always brought a lot of great information to the board, a lot of great guidance, and she's always been involved in a lot of decisions we made, and I just think she would do an amazing job, so I just want to thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Mike. Any other questions? Comments?
With the other towns and cities you represent, do you really have meetings on the first and second Thursday of the month?
I do not. I'm thrilled that your meetings are on Thursday because most people meet on Mondays and that can be difficult. So yes, no, the only Thursday meetings I ever Chesapeake Beach and they're third Mondays.
Okay.
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday. They do have some work sessions on the first Thursday, but I've not yet attended one. And I'm fairly certain we could work that out.
Yeah, we don't have them every first Thursday. It's on an as-needed basis, pretty much. How about to my right? Well, I'm going to ask Alyssa, because I think you need to address it, and we addressed it in our first meeting, the potential for conflict of interest between your representing Chesapeake Beach and Royal Beach.
Well, I can say that in the time that I've been representing Chesapeake Beach, I haven't encountered any issues that would have presented any kind of conflict with North Beach had I been representing it. In many years ago, when we represented jurisdictions in Prince George's County that ran up against each other, we seldom had that issue. I can think of one instance in which there would have been a problem with an abutting jurisdiction because they were separated by a railroad line and there was some issue with CSX. But I can't think of any issues that they have pending right now that would impact you. In the unlikely event, in my view, that something came up, I would request your authorization, or Chesapeake Beach's authorization, as the case may be, to ask one of my colleagues to handle that matter, and with your permission, we will do that.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Alyssa.
Very welcome.
You're welcome to stay and see how a town council meeting is well run.
I would,
Because I know Chesapeake Beach council members in here. Okay, thank you. All right, we have some winners from our Halloween decorating contest. The winner of the most spirited business was Cecilia Malofsky from The Wheel. She had a beautiful presentation. We have I'll deliver it to her. We're such good friends.
Well, okay, if you don't want to, I can.
It's a gift certificate to Sweet Sue's. That's for the business. Okay, how about the most spirited house? Are the Florys here by any chance? Jamie Flores, 3904 6th Street. Well, you know who they were, so let's give them a round of applause. We'll see that they get their gift certificates.
They had a castle set up, they had fog, they had music,
Wow.
they went all the way. So,
And by castle, like full castle walls around the structure of the house.
They're on the same block you are,
yeah,
between
yeah, they actually-
Frederick
they
and
won it-
Kingsley.
They won it before, because they really go all out on it. So,
I'm fortunate to have people with that much spirit in town. All right, next we have scheduled a presentation by the Economic Development Committee, and I'll turn this part of the program over to our liaison to that committee, Gwen Chiata.
Well, welcome, everybody. I don't want to steal their thunder. We have Deborah Noyes and Lisa Payne from the committee here this evening, but just to give a little bit of context, the committee is engaged in some strategic planning, really looking at, I've shared this with the council before, looking at what the goals are for the coming year, really doing a review and looking at where their efforts can best be put forth. And one of the areas was to further support the already wonderful beautification efforts that are underway in town, but looking at it from the resident side. And so I won't say much more than that. We have a proposal tonight to share with the council and hopefully get some buy-in. So with that, I'll turn it over to you. Deborah, I know you're going to lead the presentation.
Thanks, Mayor. Did everyone?
We have this right here.
We also have it's not a sample of exactly what the tile will look like. It will be more like the little prototype, little graphic I put here. But just so you can put something in your hands, Lisa's going to show you around it, because we already use this tile for the house tour. But just a follow on to what Glenn said, part of the EDC being involved with beautification efforts that the town's already done. I guess 2 years ago, because this is our second year, the garden club was approached by the EDC, and I don't believe I was a member, or I was a new member, and it had come up that the idea of doing a yard of the month, and that the EDC was looking for someone to sponsor that project, and asked me as the garden club president if I would go to our membership and see if they'd like to do it. And there was a resounding consensus to do it, and everybody was really excited about it. So we've been doing that now for 2 years. And what we do is stick a, kind of like an election sign that says, you've probably seen them around
We will be seeing them.
advertise. Yeah. And then it gets reused and gets into the next yard for the next month. We do it every month on the 15th. So we're thinking of a way to perhaps memorialize that, or create permanency, and thought of this tile idea that we use for the house tours. So as the houses win it, from now on, we would have these, give them a tile for that specific month. And that's why I just give you an example, like it would say North Beach Yard of the Month, have some sort of artwork in the middle that represents that month, maybe a flag for July, tulip for April or whatever, and the month underneath. And the resident can keep that somewhere on their house permanently, so as people stroll by, they can see it. Yeah. Oh, no, this is 2 inches. We're recommending, it can either be 8 by 8, which this is, or 6 by 6, and we thought 6 by 6 might just be a more reasonable sign size.
I'm going to pass this while she's talking, so you all can kind of get an idea what we're talking
Is that 6 by 6?
That's 8 by
This
8.
is it's a little bigger.
It's a little bigger. So what we're requesting, so we're recommending, we think this would be a good idea. And so we are requesting commitment and funding from you. And we have a Source Pottery Patch that has done these tiles, so that I went to the owner. And this is the quote we're given, which to me seems like a steal, because it includes her art fee. She would be making these. So the 6-inch square tile would be $12.36 per tile, which includes the piece, the paint, the firing, and the per art fee. We do this May through October, so that's 6 months a year. We would recommend grandfathering in the houses that already had it last year, so we would do 12 to begin with. So it'd be 12 times the,
You're talking about all of $150.
Tell them the difference in the price. And the 2 inches larger was a lot more money, so this is
Yeah, I
why
was
we
gonna
talked
ask,
about.
what's the?
Tell her,
it was like $23.
yeah, and so.
But that's not
2
even
inches-
that much. when you
No,
think
but
about,
we
you know.
thought that for the 2 inches, 12 something is so reasonable. And that's not.
So that's our proposal and our request.
So the 2 years and then for the.
And then
for the
from then
coming
on,
years.
funding 6
So
of
18,
these
we
per
need to look for
year.
18 right now, we're looking ahead to next year.
Right.
And making a design, the same design would probably be used every year for that month. But when we talked about utilizing like a flower for the town for some of these, because of course, to tie into the town of Bloom. we
That was
talked
one of
about
the
that too.
recommendations.
So we talked about, when we come up with different, designs, that we could utilize certain things for the town too.
But I'm also leaning on this artist, that she.
Just to increase the visibility of the program, because when the
Right.
sign leaves, it's another way just to get more buy-in and.
Right.
From the residents.
Yeah, exactly.
And they put it on their house permanently, like everybody, like you walk through the town, just like we do with the house tour, so something permanent.
Yeah, we may want to ask to see if they can, when they fire it, holes in it.
They do. The 6-inch square has holes in it, yes. That was another reason it comes with holes.
I'm just thinking how, like, I'd probably put it on like.
We put holes in ours, I don't know how we did it, I don't remember.
But these do not, they redesigned them, these have holes.
And how does this merge with American Bloom?
Well, I can't remember if there's an exact overlap, but I know.
There was a flower suggestion in the report, remember there was in the report it discussed.
We do the flower, yeah.
A town flower.
A town flower of sorts, so we thought we might want to tie that in, and we actually talked about putting, if there was a design, putting it on the corner, just a little tiny replica.
I mean,
So,
town flowers.
and that could be in the future, but just tie it in that way, if there was some kind of logo type flower, ever, so a little tiny one that would go up in the corner.
Any questions?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Jim.
I don't know, I'll go first. Okay, you're looking at 6 for this coming year, and 6 for the year we're in right now, 2017,
6 for last year for 16.
16,
6 for 17.
6 for 18, 6 for, why don't you get 2 or 3 years worth?
Well, I mean, if you wanted to give the funding that way, I'm sure
I
the,
mean,
Versus 1 year by year, that's a, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
business would
yeah,
like that.
yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and have it out of the way.
We're gonna store it though. I don't think we're gonna storage issue.
Yeah.
In a box, just a little box,
Does somebody have a motion?
I have a question. I have a question. My question with the design, is it changing monthly?
Yes.
We could come up with a design and then have you all approve the design before we have the bid, obviously.
So
We
May
don't-
would
No.
all-
We don't, no, we don't need to approve that.
Because I was just leaving it to the artist that owns the company, the business.
So would every May be the same design?
But right, it could be, right, unless she's feeling, thinking, oh, I'll put a different flower on each May. I was really thinking, I mean, this is her expertise, and all I said was to, if you could make it sort of related to that month. That was the idea I had, and she liked that idea. And then we just said, and it was her idea, put some sort of, subtle pattern in the background. Right.
Yeah, why don't we leave the art to the artists?
Right.
We're the funding source.
Right.
So we instruct Joanne to include,
I move that we do this.
I seconded.
for how many years? Randy, 5 years?
4 or 5, yeah, I mean, this takes us, 5 takes us into 21,
Right.
because we're back, retrofitting, so.
Okay, the motion is to fund the new Yard of the Month tile plaque for a period of 5 years at approximately $75 per year. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
Oh, yeah,
June already said.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Joanne. Nice presentation, ladies.
One quick question, is we were just chatting up here, the businesses, I know this is for homes and so forth, is there anything that could-
We haven't done that yet because it's been yard of the month, but
Right,
that idea has come, people have given that feedback like that, but I just haven't,
We could look at talking about that, just like we do the Halloween, we have a business in a
Right.
house, maybe,
right,
we'd be happy to talk about that, Mike, maybe.
right.
And come
And
back
maybe
with a
basket
suggestion.
contest, we do residences and businesses. Right.
Deborah, are you doing 6x6s or 8x8?
6x6s.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your involvement. All right, I neglected to mention that when we approved the agenda, that we do have another scheduled appointment. With us is Cheryl Green from Chesapeake Beach, representing the task force of the two towns on the opioid task force. I believe she has a plaque or something that you want to show us. Is that right, Cheryl?
Yes, I do. I have
Tell us
a plaque
about
to
it.
present. A couple of weeks ago at the Calvert Alliance Against Substance Abuse Annual Dinner, the Twin Beach Opioid Abuse Awareness Committee was presented with the 2017 Prevention Services Community Connection Award, because they have been trying to get into the beaches to get some more awareness and to get people to understand what the opioid crisis is and how it really is affecting the beaches. And they've given us this award for the forums that we have created for us going out into the community to, again, bring more awareness, let people know how many resources that we do have in the county. So they presented us with two plaques. One is going to be presented to the town of Chesapeake Beach next week at their council meeting, and this one here is for the town of North Beach.
Well, we're honored, Cheryl. Thank you. This calls for a photo, I think.
Right.
Let's have the council all come down here in front, all right? Cheryl, you get a picture with us, all right?
Yes, we did. We got the two. But one needs
Please, Ed. Well, that's a fitting lead into our public safety report, isn't it? Sergeant.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For the month of October, we handled 149 calls in North Beach. It's up from 129 in September. Last October 16 is 135 calls. Breakdown was 65 were self-initiated, 84 were received by the means. Of those calls we handled, there was one CDS violation, a heroin arrest, a theft from a fast stop at North Beach was closed by arrest. Two destructions of properties. One was at Sunrise Park, and thanks to our Facebook detectives, we solved that one. And a broken window on Erie Avenue that's under investigation, a broken vehicle window. There was one non-fatal heroin overdose and one DUI arrest. The non-fatal heroin overdose and two from last month. The heroin overdoses were from an address on Erie, and there was a raid, search warrant conducted on that house, and I believe it's already in the paper, but a quantity of cocaine was seized, multiple opiate prescription medication, and heroin and currency in vehicles. Several arrests were made on scene and several applications for charges were made based on that search warrant.
3929.
Yes, I believe the landlord is in the process.
89,
Actually, yeah, 8929. I think the landlord's in the process of evicting his residence.
There's a for rent sign up now.
Yeah, so there's
they're
very
going.
good.
They moved.
They've been evicted and moved into the house.
What? What?
What'd you say?
Yes,
They moved into they rented the house directly.
behind it.
How do people like this pass a credit check by the landlord?
Is it the same, it's not the same owner, landlord?
Rick, did you find out who the landlord was
Yeah,
yet?
we think it's Scott, but I have to.
Really?
Land records was down that day, but I think that's his house.
For both properties?
No.
Just the-
No, Mary Frances Davis.
Yeah, your neighbor owns the one where the rain was.
Yeah, that house is actually on Erie. The house that they moved into was on, is the Third Street address.
So we've been reduced calls to the one in October, in September, I actually responded to that every day, so we were there for a female, and why were there treating females and male at the house every day? So I was like,
Well, you're aware of where they had moved to.
Yeah.
yes.
You know,
I have a couple things. We were at our meeting last night, and the sheriff from St. Mary's County was talking about that they're able to take them right to the hospital when they'll show up, where I don't think Calvert County you can do that, right? If they stand up, if you give Narcan and they're up, they can decide not to go.
We actually have developed a new policy in the sheriff's office, see how far it goes.
Okay.
With state attorney's approval, because they researched it. If they are given Narcan and they refuse to go to the hospital, they are being committed under emergency
Yes,
evaluation.
that's what St. Mary's is.
We'll see how far that'll take us and if there's any pushback from, anyone on that, but basically the state's attorney, committees under emergency evaluation is for, mental stuff, and they're saying that, opiate addiction or addiction is a mental disorder, so therefore we can submit them because they're a danger to themselves, i.e. they overdose. So we can commit them, and that's the way the state's attorney read it. Until there's a case put up against it, I guess, it's going to go that way until maybe we'll say.
I know it sounded like, again, St. Mary's, that they were doing it,
Yeah.
and it was working it, and nobody has bounced back.
Yeah, because the Narcan wears off,
Yeah.
right? And
Narcan, and technically, the Narcan could wear off and they could start overdosing again.
You're right.
Depending on how much heroin they, or the opiates they ingested, whether it be prescription medication or heroin or whatever, they could wear off. The Narcan only lasts a short period of time. That's why we suggested everyone go to the hospital.
Sure.
A lot of the times, they aren't alert enough or waking up, so they just cart them to the hospital anyways. But sometimes they do come awake on scene, and some of them have refused in the past, but the policy came out actually at the beginning of this month. So from now on, everyone, if they refuse, they will be committed.
Right, two other things real quick. The reports from what you can tell us from, the investigations that Ricky's doing and so forth, is that in that report that you give us? I'm drawing a blank now because.
No, he was doing a separate report.
Right, but I don't think we received that in a while.
I'll have him get back to doing them. I think he was doing them, and then it was like, and then other things, so I'll have him start doing them again. He's actually, he was involved with the Facebook thing for the park too. He's investigated several things in both beaches.
Just like to get some updates because, I was in his position, was created for the beaches, so we'd like to get that. The third thing is that, as you can see, the crosswalks are in, they look great. They're not slippery anymore walking in the rain, they really are, but just the other day, I would like to see if we can just, we were walking and a lady with 2 kids almost got taken out because the guy just ran right through the crosswalk. I know around Chesapeake. It's like Frogger sometimes crossing the road, even with the crosswalk. I know Paul does a lot of walking around, so do I. We had those signs back in the day, and again, they're not the best looking things in the world, but I don't know, we need to go back and put those back up eventually, but.
Not to interrupt you, but they're actually state highway puts those up, and they put one in that means the first there, and they have one in this street. And they were taken down during the road construction.
Yes.
They were like $500 a piece, that's why I was having the state highway put them up. We do have them, so, I'm not sure. State
We
highway-
have them?
We have them just because they've been hit too many times. They bring them down to our shop, they think they're our signs, but actually those are put up by state highway, on 261.
So it's time to put up some new ones.
Yeah, we can, definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, just that, and then if you guys can just keep
I
an eye
know
out.
all, the sheriff's office did have some grant money for pedestrian enforcement. I don't know if it's still there, but I'll check with the traffic safety office to see if, they have that, and we can have deputies out there on that grant to enforce the crosswalks.
Well, I mean, we're a walking town. One of the things we promote in our marketing is we're a walking town. That's what separates us from most towns out there. You can walk to restaurants, walk to the beach. Well, and sometimes if you have kids, man, it's a little crazy going across Chesapeake Avenue because they're not going 25. So that would be great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, too. Well, we had the signs up, and there's sometimes when we have the stop signs for pedestrians, the traffic actually gets confused. They'll stop. And then.
I would suggest don't put one at Fifth Street.
Yeah, Fifth Street's a bad area because
Yield,
everybody
check the
thinks
yield.
to stop, and then they'll go and it's actually.
I've always said this,
Right.
it's a stop sign before it stops anyway, so that's a whole nother.
Me too.
Any problem.
All right.
Good thing you won't be in the house.
Maybe they have it once to say yield instead of stop. All right.
All right, any other questions for Sergeant Phelps? Thank you, Tom. All right, Joanne?
Okay, the treasurer's reporting period from September 1st through September 30th. The beginning balance was $598,000. Total debits was $195,000, and total credits was $435,000. Ending balance in the checking fund was $358,000. Investments in MLGIP is $2,887,000. MLGIP sewer capital is $34,000, and MLGIP water capital is $7,000. Total cash available to the town of North Beach for this period is $3,288,000. For the same period last year, it was $2,815,000. State business license revenue collected for this period was $0. It was $0 for last year also. Hotel tax for this period was $2,311. Last year for the same period was $0.
That's a positive trend, isn't it?
Seems to be, yes.
All right, council, you see the itemization of the receipts and disbursements over 7,500. Any questions of Joanne?
Has that vehicle been delivered yet? The electric
It was
vehicle?
scheduled for the 7th, but I haven't heard back from Richard. I know he's tied up with the Christmas tree. I imagine that they have to do some things to it before they actually release it, but it's close.
Okay. I want to see it when it comes in.
Yeah,
I bet you did.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Which somebody should drive it in January.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it won't be you, but yeah.
No, it won't be me. It might be those up there, it might be.
Yeah, well, we hope so. All right, I have a motion to accept Joanne's report.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Joanne. All right, Donnie?
Good evening, everyone. Before you have a list of projects, we talked about these in several meetings, and I'd like to say that a couple of them are coming close to the end. As Mr. Benton stated, the first one, the Area Streetscape project, that's pretty much been completed. Crosswalks are in. I think they're real noticeable now, with white reflective. A lot of people have commented positively on them, so they seem to be working well. It started off a little rough, but the company got it together and it came out really nice. I think they did the job that we wanted there. KNX actually completed the lighting today. They completed all the street lights and also completed all the uplights in the street lights and all with visibility on the tree lights there.
They finished all of the islands
They finished today, actually, from 3rd Street right there.
from 3rd up to
3rd to
7th?
5th. Yeah, they did 5th to 7th yesterday. And then they finished 3rd to 5th again.
And the 3 poles? between
3
the-
holes, yep, they're also.
The old ones are down?
The old ones aren't down yet. We'll probably take it that month. And we have turned in, start getting credit, getting them off the BG bill. And we did add trees to 10 of the wells, in the contract at first, there weren't any trees in, but they were having problems identifying seeing those wells, so we added crepe myrtles and those, and it seemed like they stopped already.
Sure.
To identify those wells. So hopefully, it just seemed like slowing traffic down, so it seemed like slowing down the substitute. So I'm happy to report that. Second one here, the flood dike surface water project, piping is being completed on the east side. Catch basins are in, all the piping's been completed on the east side. With the rain, they weren't able to grade that totally, so it's a little grading on the east side there. Tomorrow they're back on site to do the west side. That involves putting 2 inlets in on the west side, catch the surface water, rainwater runoff. And then Gene sent me an email about 10 minutes ago saying about Thanksgiving, the whole project will be complete. So, mark that down.
Even though it's gonna rain like 4 or 5 days next week.
Right. We had 6 weeks of nice weather that kind of went by, so.
Wouldn't be optimistic.
It's been for the last 5 years.
One thing I would like to point out that the tide is high tonight when it came in, the sea gate there, and Rock Mill, the boat ramps and up over the boat ramps, and the dike, we had that flooding right now. You got nice street flooding going on, you have pumps running, so we've had, me and Mayor thought several times, we probably had 8 instances like this.
There's no question that we're getting sea level rise.
It's no question.
Right now.
More frequently, right, for sure. Something is probably about four times this month alone. I mean, where it's been up there pretty low. The last couple of times, the highest as I've seen it. The one with the wind,
Right.
a couple of weeks ago, we had 40 miles an hour wind. That was crazy. And that's when the berm got breached around the end. Came out.
Not the actual berm.
No, not the berm, but
Yeah,
around the end.
And then come over, right.
Right.
Well, once they raise the road.
But even like tonight, it's probably a level where if it high us, seems if we had wind, it would be too severe. Berm is working when it's not good. I did notice too, it's like in the smell of the marsh area, and if you notice, up in the flushing back and forth, it's coming in.
It's amazing, and the birds, we've seen the.
Birds, the grass.
We saw an
everything's
eagle out
coming
there the
away,
other
so-
day. I mean, it's definitely
It is working,
changed.
long trying project, but it is working, so
Yes.
it's worth it.
Wow.
I know a lot of people have been asking, Deep Dover's crews been working on a structure down beside the Welcome Center. This kind of came about, and the mayor can fill in with the electrical staff. The Beach Patrol had a lot of requests for North Beach wear, like t-shirts, hats, and all those. They came to the beach, and when they went, where can we get our t-shirts, where can we get this? So we kind of came up with a structure, and it's still in the works of maybe creating a North Beach souvenir stand. It's been nicknamed the T-shirt Shack right now. Still in the process. Staff's still working on ideas for it. But like I said, several requests. A lot has to be worked out yet. But that's what the structure is. Seems like what possibly could be.
Yeah, will be. Open Memorial Day.
Right. We have all winter plan. We have structure going on now. We have the roof side coming in. We got some ideas floating around. So by spring, we'll have pretty good idea what's going to happen.
And we're searching for a patent attorney right now, so that we can trademark our logo. And hopefully we can jewel the Chesapeake Bay slogan if we can.
Rick, I said, welcome, so we had several requests, on a daily basis, kind of like what we buy at North Beach. That's a good idea.
Well, not just North Beach, where they asked, what do we buy, how?
Right.
Yeah.
Sunscreens, like that is, it's running around right now, where, if you get something, you can't get anywhere else or something close, I guess. So, we're work in progress there with that, the version that we got.
I don't know, I walk around, others walk around more in town, particularly during the warm weather. I never see any hats or apparel with North Beach on. Never. Okay, Donnie?
Yep, crew's been busy this month with like normal fall maintenance. We started on leaf back and that type of things. We blew out all the irrigation systems, drained the water lines on the pier actually this week. I'll let the weather forecast come in tomorrow. That would be a good idea to do that. Unfortunately, we had to do the fountains in Palace Park and also in the Sunrise Park, went in and drained them, especially down at 29 degrees morning. So, they said the mornings at the time. Pretty cool, so we went ahead and did that, just as a safety precaution. Getting the snow equipment ready, unfortunately, usually when we get that stuff ready, get it all working, we don't have enough snow, so we figured we had to get everything ready to go, and hopefully that'll be the case this year again. So, we'll see. I'm working with Mr. Woodburn on designing possibly upgrade the town water system. The water station over at the Public Works Yard is probably put in the lowest spot on the Public Works site. A lot of rainwater's run over the years, it's 30 years old. It's starting to affect the piping and also the electrical connections in there. The building's, just age. So what we're doing, we're trying to come up with a design, have it all ready, and then we're looking, we got the grants, a lot of times, around the world water, different associations, they have to come out with water grants, like the water type projects. So we want to have, design ready to go, so if that does come out and it's available, we get a grant for maybe upgrading the water station, raise it up, upgrading the equipment.
It was put in too low in the first place.
Yeah, it's the lowest thing, I can't recall with that whipping, I can't really understand why they did it where they did, but,
It was probably a good instant there at the time.
possibly, So, like I said, we're hoping to have that ready in the next couple of weeks. Working with K&H, we're really looking forward to the electric charging station going in. We did set the base for that, we had some, like we had a directional board, we have power over to there now. We just had to complete the process of putting it on the head. We talked to, the vendor, I've had it set up, that's a phone call, conference call type thing, for us to get set up with that. They have a real good website, you can go on their website, register as a person, what you do, you put your information in, you have to put in a credit card for your account, but then they mail you actually like a grocery store keychain type, barcode, and that's what you usually get a charging station, you have that, hit that, they can fill your account with it, so. As we get that set up, probably next meeting, we'll do, Dawn will put something on the website where we do a presentation about how it all works.
You think we would have it in operation by mid-December?
I was told it'd be ready last Friday, and I was told it'd be ready this Friday, so I'm hoping a week or two, maybe next week. We plan on painting the two spots there, green, right next to the charging station, and there's a lot. Hopefully that'll identify the area enough where people will come use it and won't clog up, use it come out. Charge the car for a couple of hours and then let somebody else get there. We kind of asked the vendor about that, they had problems, plus and minuses and stuff, so we're going to have to work through it. But we're going to identify it really well, so hopefully somebody will come use it, be considered other people, and, keep it rotating cars in and out of it.
It'll be a process.
It'll be a process, like I said, and we have a rate, we have a screen on there, Dawn's been talking to, we can put commercials, we put down events on there, we can do different stuff at the charging stations itself, so you kind of need to get that in there. And we're linked, once we put that on there, when you pull up their website, we're linked throughout everywhere, and it shows you, what beach, Dunkirk, where the charging stations are at. When you go, it's an app for your phone or a website you're on, and it'll, tell anybody who has an electric car, they'll make it on there, highlights what features on charging stations.
And while they're charging, they can walk down 7th Street, Bay Avenue, Chestnut Avenue, and shop.
Yeah. And other than that, we're just going to general maintenance tasks. I would like to, like I say, with the weather dropping, I'm not going to say that years ago, like vents, water lines, your crawl space vents, good thing. Now get your heat system checked out, things like that, while it's still not frigid. 29 is a good little wake up. Like one or two of these to wake everybody up and get them used to thinking about winter. And hopefully they'll get warm again for a couple of weeks before we really do it. It's a whole lot easier to do it now when it's 30 degrees out, 20 degrees out. So I went around the Dale, let me see probably every house on the beach. Still has your crawl space vents open from the summer because it was so 70 degrees Monday. You can walk around in a t-shirt Monday night, but it's going to be cold tomorrow, I think, for everybody. So just be mindful of that winter type stuff.
Okay. Any questions of Donnie?
Just a question, well, Donnie, but maybe Stacy might have a better sense. Those banners, have they come in yet? Do we know?
Probably another week.
Another week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We get them on.
I know we have the orange, but yeah. Okay.
I do real quick. I know when we redo roads and sidewalks, especially the sidewalks, we go through, we double check the water and the sewer connections and all that. And I know there's a lot failing, or at least the water connections. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, we're
now.
starting to have meter pits, actually. They're 30 years old also. They put
Right.
in, I think, 1990.
Is there a plan in place? Because, the next time we do a road, it's not anytime soon.
Right.
Are you just doing it on a case by case as something fails? Or are you guys set up to do some, look at them as you go along?
Right now, we're just on a case-by-case basis. We probably have 3 this year. It hadn't got to a critical state, but I didn't think about putting it in the capital budget.
Right.
Maybe to do, because there's meter vaults.
Yeah.
Chlorine actually eats up that blue poly pipe in there, and, when they came out, it was the greatest thing. never made they thought, but they never really thought about the chlorine, and the effect chlorine will have on the power pipe. Over time, that chlorine makes it brittle, and it's just cracked, and it says like 30 years old. And unfortunately, all our meters, all the ones with the original system, all that tight. Like I said, we only had like 3 or 4, but it has been 3 or 4 the last 6 months. I had to replace case by case. So I have ordered like 5 spare meters in stock, so we just got to put one on we need. But we need to look into capital budget, maybe that, maybe.
Proactive.
Right. And what we're doing too, also when we replace them, we're taking them out of the sidewalk. We really don't like having the
Yes.
sidewalk stripping out, a lot of times we call them, you walk around town, with the lids off, it's in the sidewalk. So when we do replace them, we move them to the rear of the sidewalk also. And then that way we get more ADA compliant. But it would be smart to put in the capital budget for maybe do a street, do a section, do some group of them at a time. Or definitely when we do the new project, but we need to do sidewalk every time, definitely.
Thank you.
State Highway is part of their 261 project. They're looking at doing that on that area that's being affected by the road project there. You know, raising all the walls. We talked to them about bigger sewer lines and walls and everything we should address with that project.
Do we have a timeline yet from, I guess, BGE or whoever it is on that sidewalk on Second Street?
Actually, I got a hold of it. We've got who runs that. And what happened is BG&E put in a work order. You know, they come in and they put new poles in. Verizon's supposed to come back and move their lines over, and when Verizon does that, then they're supposed to turn in a ticket to get the sidewalk repaired. But BG&E turns in the ticket to get the sidewalk done, not realizing Verizon hadn't pulled the pole out yet. It's kind of like
Yeah,
between them two.
It's kind of like hazard, yeah.
It's going whatever.
That section of sidewalk was horribly vandalized when it was put in. So, yeah.
It worked out.
It worked out. We're still gonna want that out.
BG&E contractor told me is if it doesn't get repaired like in a week, call him back because he'll come down and do. You know, they paid to do it once, so his boss doesn't want him to pay to do it again. Verizon's supposed to do it, but Verizon never responds as well as BG&E. I finally got a good contact with BG&E, and he responds pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Verizon's not the same way, and they did like 3 patches, like I said, they had 3 poles, other poles to pull out. So, but it's supposed to be on Verizon paper fix, but they said if he doesn't, let him know, he's going to fix that one. It's right on the corner, it's in that spot.
If that one Second Street, you do favors, put a cone on top of that hole or something, it's a pretty deep hole.
It's coming to take off, you can see that.
Well,
Or we need to do more of that.
it's, yeah, not where the hole is though. Because there's the actual cracked sidewalk, and then on the road, kind of where the road is a deep hole there where the pole used to be.
What I'm gonna do is also take a picture of that and send it to Brittany Jones, who's our rep from BG&E. She's pretty good about, getting it about Jane. And it's from her, so I'll take a picture of that if we've done like a couple of days. But I'll put a camera, tonight or tomorrow morning and make sure it's in that spot.
Now, the other thing is, if you have problems with Verizon and getting them to respond, and then there also has a number of other people too.
That would be nice to do, absolutely terrible right now. This is not saying, that bad about a company, but we have phone lines hanging from the poles, we try to call them, get them to cut them off or do something. I think, like when the house line gets disconnected, instead of like taking the line down anymore, they just roll it up and then it winds up falling down, then it's laying out. And we've been going around just cutting them off, because there's so many of them, but we can't get them to come out and do.
And that was one of the things that we did last year with the legislative committee, was to try and get them, give us people so that we can contact them and they just have to. So if you have a problem, give me a call.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put that on your schedule if you want to try to get a Verizon contact. If that works great for BG&E, thank you for that.
Okay.
And since we did get the BG&E contact from you, has improved 100%, call them directly.
100%, well, that's good.
90% there. Really responsive.
Thank you, Donnie. Paul, hang on just a second. Also under scheduled appointments, a late appointment. And I noticed he came in a few minutes ago. I'd like to welcome Bob Carpenter to our council meeting. Bob, you will recognize as a former member of the Chesapeake Beach Town Council, and former executive director of the Arts Council of Calvert County, and now the executive director of the Calvert Chamber of Commerce. Bob, front and center. I saw you brought something in.
I did, I brought a little medal for you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we, council members, the Chamber of Commerce held their second annual Women's 9-Hole Golf Tournament
originally scheduled for Columbus Day. It was postponed due to weather. And the team representing the town of North Beach won, represented by Mary Frazier. I think you're familiar with Mary. Nancy Karpinski, Bonnie Whittington, and Mary Wadley. So, congratulations.
This is going to be an annual, Bob?
This is an annual event. Your wife is trying to talk me into making it 18 rather than 9 holes. Congratulations.
What a better game than I do.
Trophy case. Yeah.
Dragon boat.
Exactly.
Trophies. All right, thank you. Sorry, Paul, you're up.
Good evening, you have my report, a lot of which you've already talked about, so I was just going to touch on a few of them. The Maryland Route 260 State Highway upgrade still on target. And we have a meeting November 17th to go over their latest set of drawings.
261.
I'm sorry, what did I say? 261, sorry. The beach dredge project approved by the Corps. ND put out a public notice. It comes off notice on the 13th. And then, assuming there's no comments, which I don't expect any, the next step goes to Board of Public Works for issuance of the state platform license. Pier Pavilion project, which I wasn't here last month, but I think we talked about, so that's going to construction drawings on that. Have you shown them a conceptual layout or anything of it? I can email it out.
Yeah, would you?
I'll do that, sure.
We're still waiting for, we got official word from Baywalk on the church act, and we're still waiting for official word on the pavilion.
You don't expect any problems, but Calvert County has prepared, as part of their 100-year floodplain FEMA program, the town which is in it and Chesapeake Beach is in it, they prepared a flood mitigation plan, which ultimately the town will have to adopt. And basically, what that is if somebody comes in to work in the floodplain, there's a lot of towns in the floodplain, the town just has to make sure that they, as the administer, or they administer the floodplain for the state and for FEMA, that, if someone's going to do construction in the floodplain, that they follow the proper procedures and laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that has been presented to the town from the county, and it looks like we'll probably have that, we'll review it and back to you with that in January. That's what we're anticipating. This year, the state highway, we do a road inventory for them each year, which we haven't done a lot of road work, but some, so we have to do that, report that. And as Donnie had said, the meter pits, it's funny you mentioned that, because in town of Chesapeake Beach, I know we budget to replace 30 minimum a year. And a lot of them, you don't even know that they're going bad until you go out there and say, oh, we should replace them. So I really think that's a good idea. We have a lot of problems on a lot of projects I work with, stray currents, and they cause failures, and you can get 3 or 4 in a day. So I think it's a good policy to start looking at. We also are coming up with a better detail for the meter pits. So when somebody, I know somebody's come in, they're gonna demo and build a new structure or a new house, we wanna make sure that they bring everything up to current standards, so they put a new water line, new sewer, so he's not out there repairing it 2 years later, actually to build a house, so just let you know that that's going forward as well. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer.
The meeting on the 17th, is that here or is that?
No, that's, yeah.
It's
District
where?
5, District 5 of Annapolis.
Oh, okay.
Paul, we talked a little bit at the staff meeting about the directive from Calvert County for the new homes being constructed at Fifth and Dayton about the separate lines for the sprinkler system
Right.
for the house.
Right.
Any movement on that issue? I know it's only been 3 days. but-
Yeah, I haven't heard anything back. I don't believe that's necessary. We don't do it anywhere else. I don't see it in the code, so.
Separate ones for the-
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It just causes more maintenance headaches for Donnie in the future. And so what they're asking for is they're asking for 2 separate lines to come from the public main, or could be one line off the public main to the property line, and split off of that with 2 lines into the house. One would be for a fire sprinkler, and one would be for the domestic. Typically, in every jurisdiction I work in, one line goes in the house, as you have now, goes into your meter room or your basement or wherever it comes in your house, and then off of that, it would split, and they have a backflow preventer, so it doesn't get, in other words, so the water doesn't mix with your fire sprinkler water, mix with your drinking potable water. And there's a backflow preventer, and then your water goes to your house, your potable, and then the other goes to your sprinkler system. So it's only one line in, and for some reason, the plumbing inspector of Calvert County just recently said, no, you can't do that, you gotta have 2 lines, which is absolutely.
Which is weird, because he was saying we just had to upgrade from a 3 or 3/4 to just to
Right.
go up to an inch, is what he was saying last year. Yeah, any new residential.
I'll look into the bottom of it. I've never heard of this. In commercial, yes, I've done it before. but-
Yeah, well, if we let them get away with it on this one, that's
Yeah, well,
going to be a precedent, they're going to do it for everything.
Right, we don't want to do that.
I have a question for Paul. There's a house, and I met Donnie out there on 9th Street under construction. And my concern was, the neighbor's concern, was it taken care of?
Yeah, just Paul didn't see it, just as big as the homeowner actually came out and hired a contractor because he couldn't get the person to put the dirt there. And they graded it as per the county site plan, and that was done.
Does it work?
A week ago. Yeah, it's graded all to come out in the street now. They removed probably 2 dump truckloads of dirt out there. It's not-
What it was, they built the ground up so high that it was gonna dump, I mean, just flood out the neighbor's yards. There you go, yeah, so, I'm glad we, I mean, it just, yeah.
The new house in the corner, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, good, thank you.
Okay. Any, Jane?
I was under the impression that if you had public water and sewer, that you didn't have to sprinkle your house.
Well, new construction.
No, that's what I know, yeah. I didn't think you had to under new construction, but it was only for those that only had wells.
All members.
Not for anyone.
No, it wasn't very last year. I think it's about a year ago, it passed all new construction.
Just a quick side note too, Mayor. I met with the person who's in charge of the site plan for that Fifth and Dayton. They're planning on starting down with, as early as tomorrow. Good. Yeah, so it'll be nice, and then they have a real nice, look at a real nice structure, nice plan for a lot. Three-story, I don't think Greg said.
Three-story, probably 637.
I'm really excited about getting started Fifth and Dayton.
That's great, that's great to hear.
Just can I ask you a question?
All right, thank you, Paul. I'm
Sorry, that's okay. For the stormwater on 9th and Atlantic, so are you hoping that we would be upgrading that pump this next coming year?
We're going to try to get a grant, that's
Yeah.
our goal.
For this coming,
Yeah.
coming year?
All right, Rick?
Change the report a little bit this time. I think that a few questions that was too, I think it was Glenn asked about the tags, or maybe it was Mike asked about the tags and which addresses. We took the tags off the top and we just listed everything down below so you can see where houses were tagged and where we had to send letters out. I'm hoping by this time next month, this will be the last report you get like this. The Comcast software should be done. We start training on Tuesday. We just got approval and a download from the county for the GIS mapping. So they should be done, whatever they need to do with the IT part of that to get that up and running. So we're hoping to have a multitude of different reports you'd be able to look at yourselves and track of. So it won't be the handmade one we have here. We talked about the house on Fifth Street. Jane was there. I was happy. That was my first house presented to the planning commission. We got it done in one meeting. Didn't have to come back. Everything was done and finished in one shot. I'll be going to liquor board hearing on December 12th for the new restaurant. That'll be opening on 7th Street, the Hook and Vine. Looks like there shouldn't be any issues. They called, the liquor board told them that they needed to get with us, get our approval first, so I'll be doing a letter stating that they've met all the requirements. I'll be attending that meeting to tell them that we approved their position to open up there.
When do they anticipate opening?
Their liquor board meeting is on December. I think they're planning for December, early January.
I was told there'd be a ribbon cutting first part of January.
Yeah. They were hoping to open a little sooner, but they've actually done a little more construction on the inside to reconfigure some things. But liquor board hearings in December, and they're hoping for early January opening.
Yeah, they're building a bar.
Yeah.
A question on the house on Ninth Street that has the foundation, the raised foundation
Yeah.
built. I mean, do you know what the status of that is, Rick, or
For sale?
how? And so can that stay like that? I guess
Forever. Because
Indefinitely.
it's actually not a house, so
Right.
it's not like it would fall under an abandoned property, or it's not. Until they sell it, it's really what it is. And with the GIS part of the mapping, we're not going to have a direct link with the county. County's never done that, so they don't want to do it now. I talked to Paul and Donnie. We don't really think there's a need to have a direct 24 access link. I think if we just update the GIS mapping biannually or even quarterly, it would be more than sufficient for what we're going to be using.
All right, thank you, Rick. All right, Dawn was unable to be with us. You have her report, and Veronica is not with us this evening. So I can tell you that Veronica works very hard on getting the grants for the town of North Beach, and she's been very successful. Very fortunate to have Veronica as our circuit rider.
Yeah, she worked very hard with the state of Maryland.
Very hard.
Very hard.
All right, we're at that point in the meeting where the floor is open for public comment. Okay, Deborah.
I just wanted to announce for people that are here, if you didn't know, and we've advertised it, that the Community Garden Club had on here. It's our third annual House and Garden Club poinsettia sale, and the deadline for orders is next Thursday. All the profits go to the Christmas on the Beach. We give it to Mr. Christmas on the Beach. And so it's a great fundraiser, and each year we've been successful, but this year maybe nervous because we don't have very many orders in. So I'm going to leave these maybe downstairs or somewhere, and just please support our kids' Christmas on the Beach and order these beautiful poinsettias. They come from Green Street. They're really, really nice plants, $10.
How can they order?
They can order either by grabbing one of these, there's an order form, and on it, there's the Garden Club email address, so you could just, scan it and send it. I have my phone number on here to call me, or snail mail it with a check, in the regular post office. So anyway, email to let me know, drop the check off to me, or send it in the mail.
$10 for a beautiful poinsettia.
Right. And
Can't
they've
beat
got
that.
really good support, like you know, West Lawn's always bought a lot of plants at decorating. Other businesses have, you know, all the Sharon's Place, hairdresser places all around. I mean, they've all been very supportive of it, so, James Church buys a ton of them, so, yeah, it's a good fundraiser, but I'm getting a little nervous since we haven't had that many orders, and we're a week away, so, please support us.
Thank you for your support. All right, under business items, we have the introduction of ordinance 1713. Paul, is there anything you want to tell us about this? This critical area overlay?
It's basically definitions. You have a critical area ordinance already. It's changed slightly in that, not significantly. But the biggest change is that all the definitions that they make us follow anyway, they're just putting them in codified form at this point. I don't think it's going to change anything in reality.
Would someone care to introduce that ordinance?
I'd like to introduce ordinance 1713.
All right, thank you, Randy. All right, resolution 17-10 fee schedule. Stacy, this is just what an addition to our schedule of fee for the charging station, which is $1.90 an hour, which is a fee that was recommended to us by the representative from ChargePoint when he first came to town. He indicated that fees can range anywhere from $3.50, which is what they charge in St. Michael's, I think, to nothing. I'm told that up in Dunkirk, the park and ride, that there's no charge for it. But on the other hand, when I rode by there were cars parked there, hooked up. We're there all day. So if you don't pay anything, you get there first, you hook it up, and then you go to work. So nobody else can get in there, so that doesn't work. So I think $1.90 is a very reasonable amount. We're going to have more of it in the future. We need to have it officially in our fee schedule. So I'd like the motion to approve resolution 17-10.
Can we talk about that for a moment?
Sure, let's have a motion, then you can talk about it.
Move we adopt resolution number 17-10 for fees.
Is there a second? Okay, Jane.
I think $1.90 is just a weird number. Why not $2? Who wants to deal with cents?
Well, it goes on.
I'd rather have
It's a
the number on my
marketing,
credit
it's a
card.
marketing tool.
Yeah, we made $1.99.
Sounds better than two.
Sounds a lot cheaper than $2.
Okay.
All right, we beat you down. Okay, motion to approve. It's been moved and seconded.
No, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Bloodied and bruised, but, okay, Mickey, your report, please.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, some of the new faces, it was great to see them. We did Hound of the Town, we had 54 dogs in the Hound of the Town, which I think is the all-time high for that event, which is great. We had a ton of kids, I lost track of those, about 60, both age groups. And Ghostbusters, I always enjoy watching, and I always enjoy seeing our movies. Other than that, everybody remember to stay warm, and then check on your elderly neighbors. Mike's probably going to say that again. And you come out.
Yeah, stay warm and happy Thanksgiving. We don't see you until December. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, I want to say check on your neighbors. I also have noticed a lot of houses with the vents open, and we will get phone calls, Donnie will get phone calls. More importantly, there's seniors and individuals that are not physically able to do certain things around their house to get their house ready for winter. Pass it on, there's people out here willing to help. Also, I would like to go and thank Mickey and Randy, because the movies on the beach, the drive-in movies, it's those two guys. And if you ever go there, they got it down to a science. And they do an amazing job. We were lucky enough to attend a couple this year, and everybody always walks away just happy. And I cannot thank them both enough, because I know they put a lot of time into doing these movies. So we want to, openly thank you guys for all your hard work with that. The last thing is that we've had a gentleman walking the beaches, checking out cars and vacant houses, and the police departments have been involved and so forth, but make sure you're locking your cars, make sure you're locking your sheds, make sure you're not leaving stuff outside. Just, if you see something, say something, we gotta be smart about this. As much as we hate to see somebody do something stupid, there are stupid people that do stupid things, and we just gotta keep them from stealing the, things, so just keep your eyes open. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Paul?
On December 2nd, we have the holiday parade coming up, and we also this year want to have a Christmas market as part of that, over here, a Christmas market, before and after the actual parade. And then that evening, I believe, Abigail Francisco is having her holiday spectacular, so it's going to be quite a bit of cheer going around on December 2nd.
Where's that going to be?
I will find out. I don't know.
I think it's Calvert? I'll check. I'll check, yeah.
Calvert High School?
I think so, yeah. Abigail's went to show, there's a local orchestra who is playing for it, and then they're doing not record parts. That's it, excerpt.
Isn't it from, yeah, it's Calvert High School, 2 p.m. And it's actually December 3rd, it's the next day.
That would be Sunday.
That's Sunday, yes.
Okay, Jane?
Thank everyone for coming out. Also, I'd like to thank my wonderful friends and neighbors who've stepped up, helped me out, and will help me for a couple of months. I hope it's only that, but I really appreciate everyone and all of your thoughts and prayers. I'm very nice. Thank you very much.
Don't pull Google away yet, because I don't remember something. All about Christmas market. Again, being held in Thanksgiving, if anybody is planning a solo or duo dinner and doesn't feel like cooking, Abigail does have a community Thanksgiving dinner at her studio on Thanksgiving Day, and it's at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
12 to 3.
12 to 3 or 12 to 2. You can't remind you, need Google. That's what I have one time. That one positive. Other than that, I'm good, thanks.
Thank you, Randy. Yep, before we meet again for another council meeting, we will, which will be mid-December, we'll be well into the Christmas season. We will have the lighting of the tree on Friday, the 1st, and a new wrinkle, we're going to have the Northern High School Orchestra performing down there that night. Part of their effort, they're in a fundraising drive, and they will be here for the Christmas market too, right? So come down and support the high school orchestra from Northern. We're pleased to have them join us. Let's see, this past week I had a chance to be with the governor. I thank him very much for the recent $250,000 grant that we received. Actually, it was from the Department of Housing and Community Development, but all those grants go over to the governor's desk, so I thank him for that. And some of you will be hearing from us again. Everyone, please have a happy Thanksgiving. It's nice to see so many people out tonight. Bob, nice to see you over here. Dan, I guess I'll see you tomorrow, right? Okay. All right, guys. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting and to go into closed session for the purposes of discussing employment, personnel matters, and acquisition of property for public purposes.
I'll move to what he said.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Happy holidays.